I am going into the city. I am going to the cinema. I'm going to watch The Salt Path. I hummed and hawed about it, but I'm combining it with something else. So I'm going to go to a bunch of charity shops and see if I can get anything that I can use in my business doing the decoupage stuff that I've mentioned before, but you can see it on my channel. So it's been absolutely tipping it down, but it has now stopped and it's supposed to brighten up now, so we shouldn't get too soggy, which is nice. So we'll see how we get on. Saw an out of service bus go past and it said Merry Christmas on its information bar at the front. A bit odd, isn't it? It's June. Having said that, one of the movie channels, I think it's called Great Movies or Greatest Movies or something, and they're doing Christmas in June. They're doing Christmas movies in June. Why do people insist on doing movies in the middle of the year? Isn't Christmas enough? Bonkers. Great place. What are you doing? Go on. I know. As well. Yeah, as well. That looks like a parked car to me. Was a really good film. It's the kind of film that makes you want to pack up everything into your car and go on a long road trip. Well, it does people like me anyway. If you like that whole carefree existence, the idea of jacking it all in and driving off into the sunset, it's worth a watch. I do find that whole idea really appealing, and it's something that I think about quite a lot. I mentioned recently about how, you know, every time I get closer to when rent is due, like the renewal of my tenancy. And I think, well, what if it goes up too high? And part of me is like, well, actually that could be quite good fun. For almost all my life since 2008, I have lived in, I suppose you could call it, insecure living situations. And by that I mean things like I've lived in house shares, mostly in house shares and as a lodger, but also in partners' houses. I've only done that once. And there is no security in any of that. And when you live in like a house share or as a lodger, you're in someone else's room with someone else's furniture, and you can be out within a few weeks' notice. Now that was never as scary for me, because when I had other stuff, like stuff that was mine, but I always had either storage or all the time up until 2018 when I was here in my final move to the northwest. I had a studio for my business, and it was big enough that I could store other stuff in it. So I always was still able to keep like some shelving, all my clothes. I put all my kitchen stuff into storage, just basics, you know, nothing fancy. I don't mean like white goods appliances, I mean like cutlery and plates and things like that. And it was in 2018 when that situation changed, because I was living in a house as a lodger, and the house was just absolutely shocking. It was just so awful. So when I had the opportunity, because I'd been saving and paying quite a cheap lodging rent, I was able to have the money to be able to move into the flat that I'm in now. And it's really nice when it first happens. You have this whole proper space of your own that's yours, but it becomes a millstone around your neck, and I don't like having it. I would like to be able to live smaller. I would like to have stuff in storage, like the stuff that I need, not like furniture, but keep the useful stuff like shelving, and keep all the business stuff, because I can still keep working theoretically, and just live in a much smaller way that requires no real can't think what the word I'm looking for. I don't have to stick with it, you know. I can dump it and go if I want to. So I do see quite an attraction to that whole idea of, I mean, in film, I won't give too much of it away, but they forcibly lose everything. But they do ultimately have a happy ending. And if you're able to learn from the experience and be flexible and learn from it and go with it, you could learn a lot. So that was a good film. I enjoyed that. Afterwards, I went to a bunch of charity shops in the city while I was there to see if I could find anything that I could use in my business. City centre charity shops are not good places for stuff. It was all pretty trendy. It was mostly clothes, a lot of vintage, so it's all, the price gets racked up. So there wasn't really anything. There was one thing, which was a cute little bowl I found, which was on a shelf. It was a 50p each, or 3 for I'm sure it said 3 for £1.50, which would make sense if you were buying 3. I'll have to check that sticker on it. So I got that. It was only 50p. That's one different thing I can add, but that was it. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to go into the B&M on the way home, which I'm nearly at, and I'm just going to have a look for, because they often do really cheap home decor, and they had a load of frames on sale, and I'm just wondering if there's anything that I can pick up on the cheap. So I've got some new ideas for how I can decorate frames, and they might have things like napkins and cheap stuff that I can use to do the decoupage. So I'll have a look at that as well. These places often end up being better than charity shops, which seems ridiculous. I don't know how charity shops make any money anymore. They don't sell the kind of tat that you used to get, you know, like clutter, things that collect dust, ornaments and bits and pieces like that. They don't tend to do that anymore. I'm assuming they just don't accept it because no one buys it, and that's exactly the kind of stuff that I'm after. But yeah, really annoying that you just can't get it anymore. They just don't seem to want to stock it. It must be hard to shift stuff like that, because it's not even like people buy it up and then sell it on places like Vinted, because you can't sell online anymore. It's so expensive to do. Anyway, so I'm here at the store, so I'm going to pop in and see what I can find. Wish me luck. Wow, I bet there aren't that many people who come out of a B&M store having not bought anything, but I was one of them. Nothing in there. I'd rather be picky though. I don't want to end up with stuff that I can't use. I've got to be careful because the budget is limited. So I'm going home almost empty-handed, but there's another place that I want to try for charity shops, which is another town for another day, but it's more likely to be proper like town charity shops with the kind of stuff in it I want, and there's probably a few more, but I'll leave that for another day. I'm knackered, and that's it really. Oh dear. Anyway, so that's my slightly non-profitable day. That's alright. It's not much, but look. The first of my strawberry harvest has arrived. I'll take that. I didn't get any last year. I've netted them this year. I think the problem was a squirrel who is a regular visitor, and I think he was nibbling my strawberries. I think that's why I never saw a sight of any of them last year. Right, so I've been to Morrison's. Didn't do too bad actually. I'm not entirely sure what I've got. I spent £1.58. So let's see what I've got. First, I got a Coburg cob. This was £1 down to 20p. That'll do nicely. I bought 2 pieces of quiche. I quite like this quiche. This is a cheese and onion slice. These are £1.50 for one slice of quiche, and they sell them like that. These are discounted. These are 15p each, so I bought 2. I have some lettuce and some other bits and some mayo, of course, in the fridge, so I could make up a nice light tea with those. That's 2 dinners there. I also got, sometimes they put these whopping great tubs of stuff into the discount to get rid of it. It's off the deli counter. So this is a barbecue bean salad, and it's got all the beans in it. And I think this would make the basis of a really nice stir fry if I lob in loads of veg and stuff. This was £2.49, What's the weight on it? 800 grams, I think that says. 800 grams, down to 25p. I think there's a few meals in there at least. If I add loads of stuff to it, that'll heat up nicely. I also got, I don't even know what this is. This is handmade traditional Indian sweets. This was £4.50, down to 45p. I don't even know what that is, and I'm going to try it right now. I mean, you can't go too wrong for 45p. The Indian sweets and the desserts tend to be really nice. I don't know what this is. It's leaking as well, so it's a bit sticky. What is this even made with? I don't even know. Oh wow. It's like it's drenched in honey. I don't even know what it is. It's something deep fried, covered in honey. Oh my god, that's so good. That's not going to last long. Indian sweets are really sweet. They are definitely treats. There's 12 pieces there, so we'll have to ration this. Oh, that was worth 45p for definite. Very sticky. Oh, leaking everywhere. Right, tested and approved. It's just they're made in the UK. And the last thing I got was something from a company called the Jolly Hog. I don't think I've ever had anything from this company. They're called Smoky Dogs. 4 British pork hot dogs with smoked sea salt, which makes them sound incredibly posh. They're regular size sausages, but they were £3.75 down to 38p. Can I freeze them? I have no idea. What does it say? Storage? Any storage instructions? They always put the discount stickers and the barcode right over where you want the information. Storage instructions. Keep refrigerated. Does it say suitable or not suitable for freezing? Suitable for freezing. Excellent. They are going straight in the freezer then. I can't eat 4 of those in a short space of time. That's pretty good. So that's everything that I have got for my £1.58. I will do the usual. Put up the price if I pay for all of that full price and how much I saved by getting it on a discount. I'm going to get this lot packed away, get it into the spreadsheet so I can monitor how much I'm spending on food, as I always do. And then at the end of the month, on my monthly money audits, you can see how much I've spent and all that sort of thing. So that's it. That's Tuesday evening done with. I was really tired when I got back from the cinema and my charity shop visit. My energy levels still aren't great, you know, a trip like that out. I mean, I left home at 9 o'clock. I was home about 2:30 and I got my 10,000 steps in. But I was a bit knackered. And that's just because my energy levels are shot to pieces. I don't seem to be getting the crashing fatigue that I used to get, where 1 minute I'd be okay, the next minute I would just like be unable to get up off the sofa. I'd be so exhausted. And that wouldn't be mental fatigue, that would be physical. So my brain would be fine thinking about stuff. My body just couldn't even move. What I get more often is this continuous low level energy, which kind of stays with me most of the time. And depending on how much I'm doing, depends on how bad I feel. So like today, where I've been out and about a lot, I've been in town, been to the cinema, been to all these shops, walked around a lot, and then just tired. But after about an hour or so, I just came back up to normal levels, and I got on with some crafting stuff and did some admin and did dinner, and now I've been out and done this. So it's kind of, I can cope with that better than the crashing fatigue where I can't move for like 2 or 3 hours, which is really awful. I don't know if that's a temporary change or whether it's another stage of the menopause that I've got through, and that isn't going to come back, at least for a bit. We'll have to see. Anyway, so I'm pleased that's gone anyway, so we can manage with the rest of it. So I'm going to get all this sorted out, and onwards and upwards to another day. Today I'm finally going to that job interview. It got cancelled last Friday, and then I messaged her direct and said, let me know when you want to rebook, and I didn't hear anything. And then on, I think it was Monday, I had a message from the agency saying she's going to contact you. So they'd obviously chased her. She contacted me and said, can you do Friday morning? Yep, no problem. Let me know what time and I'll be there. And I didn't hear anything. And then 9 o'clock last night, she sends a message and says, can you come 9 o'clock tomorrow morning? Luckily, I already had something else planned that I was going to, and it's kind of en route, and I'm driving anyway. So I said yes. I mean, it's only a few minutes up the road, so I'm saying yes anyway. But I'm still not convinced that this is going to be worth the effort. So we'll see when we get there. We'll see what it's like, and afterwards I am going to another town to do some charity shop, looking around for stuff for my business. I've just done an update on my business channel, which I'll put the video there, which I've just uploaded as of me talking about it. I don't know when you're going to see it. And I talk about some of the stuff that I found. It's more like materials, like patterns and things that I can use. But today I want to go and see if I can find some more actual things that I can decorate. I need to have a little bit more stock. Don't really want to spend any more money, but it's investing. This part of my business is in profit at the moment. I've been selling some stuff. I've sold a few more things this last week, which is fantastic. So thank you to everyone that bought stuff. I've also had quite a good week on Vinted. So I wouldn't say I'm feeling flush by any stretch of the imagination. I'm still coming in less income than outgoings this month, but you know, you need to speculate to invest. I can't produce more stuff for sale if I don't have the stuff to work with, so I need to go and do that. So although it looks quite wet and miserable today, it's supposed to be rain free today, so I'm going to go and do that. I think, well, I'm not entirely sure, but I think the new neighbours have moved in downstairs. I'd seen them on a couple of days, and then on the third day they kind of blotted their copybook by, they turned up with a strimmer and hacked back every single blade of greenery they could find that was daring to touch the boundary of their property. So I wasn't really impressed about that. But I think they're in. I've seen them, I've said hello to them once, and they seem to be here every night. And they're not going home because you don't hear the front door go. But it's hard to tell because they are so quiet. If this is them in, and this is how much noise they produce, I've won. I've finally found neighbours who are quiet. But we'll see. I can't actually tell if they're really in, so it's hard to tell at the moment. So that's potentially good. So I'm going to get to this place early. I'm going in like local town rush hour, so I have no idea whether or not I'm going to get stuck in traffic, and I do not want to be late. Having been messed around this much, I definitely want to make sure that I'm not the one turning up late for the interview. I'll only be about 8 minutes early, and I've got to make sure I can park, of course, to get these things right. I think I've finally solved my phone problem. I've taken the good SD card out of my regular mobile phone and stuck it into this one, and I did that a couple of weeks ago actually, and it seems to be going absolutely fine. Don't seem to have had any problems. I haven't tested it with long trips yet, so what I've done, I've put the slightly dodgy SD card back in my regular phone, but I'm just using it as a backup. I'd forgotten that when I bought my new mobile phone in December, I had one with a much bigger memory, so it's got 128 in it anyway without an SD card. It's just that it's good to have an SD card if your phone breaks and everything's backed up. So I'm double backing up, so I've got it on my phone and then I'm also backing up to the card, which may or may not be, it may be that it just doesn't like my old mobile phone, we'll see. But I've got the SanDisk, which is the really good card, in this phone, and then the other one, which is a Samsung, and I'd only had it 3 years, so it should be all right, but I don't think the Samsungs are as good, because my previous SD card I think was a SanDisk, and I had that for years. Anyway, lesson learned, don't buy Samsung SD cards. So, interview done, went well, starting next week. Really nice couple. They have a dog called Dave, and they both work, it's a couple, they both work flexi hours, and they have a 2-year-old as well. So, chaotic lives, but they're really nice people, and I think we're good to go. Starting next Friday, because I have a temporary clean to do on Tuesday, and then I'll hopefully mostly be doing Tuesdays after that. I think that's how it's going to work. I've just done my charity shop run around what is basically a new town for me, and I've filled a shopping bag, like a bag for life shopping bag, one of the big ones. So much stuff. This is a pretty ropey town. It's not posh like central city centres. It's quite run down in areas. Lots of charity shops all clustered together, and all of them had the dust gatherers, the things that I was looking for. I'm not going to show it on here. I'll do like a little haul thing on my other channel where all this stuff is going to be used. So you'll be able to go over and see that. Yeah, so a good day. That's it. Don't need to buy any more stuff for quite a while now. I've got enough to be getting on with for quite a while, which is great. All stuff that's postable. Nothing particularly unusual. Standard stuff like candle holders, incense burners, you know, the ones where you put the water in the top. I've got a couple of those, which was nice. Good designs, easy to decorate. A couple of picture frames, and some coasters, all sorts of things. So that's that. Heading home now and get on with some actual work. It's not even lunchtime. It's been a profitable morning. Sunday morning. Yesterday was weird. I went and did my cleaning work in the morning, which was fine. Came back at lunchtime, did lunch, and then I got really tired and just fell asleep on the sofa and woke up in time for dinner. I don't usually let myself nap during the day because normally it impacts my sleep at night because I'm usually then not tired, but I went to bed as usual and slept really well, so I must have needed a bit of catch-up time. Anyway, so it's Sunday morning and I have been to Morrison's. Didn't get an enormous bag, but I spent £9. There's quite a lot of things here, so we'll have a look and we'll see whether it pans out. So, first of all, mushrooms were £1.10 down to 82p. Lots of radishes today. These were 56p down to 17p. So I bought 3 of those. Lots of mackerel as well. So this one was £1.98 down to 80p. This one was £2.14 down to 86. This one was £2.28 down to 92p. And this one was £1.98 down to 80p. So that's some good stocks for the freezer. They also had some naan breads. They're huge. Look, there's 2 in a pack. These were £1.85 down to 56p. I bought 2 of these. What I like to do with things like this is turn them into pizzas. So put toppings on the top, bake them in the oven, and you've got a naan pizza. And also I can put these in the freezer. So I'll probably keep one out and put the rest in the freezer. I also bought 2 big tubs of hummus. These were £1.49 each down to 60p. So I got 2 of those. I love hummus, haven't seen any for a bit. Something I bought that isn't for the home. They have like various reduced aisles everywhere. This is a cake decoration. It's snowflakes, so it's Christmassy, but I've been looking for some snowflake ideas for some of this new decoupage I'm doing. And these are, I think, probably rice paper, but I think they'll work really well. They're edible, but it doesn't matter because what I'll do, I'll glue them and seal them in. I've got an idea what to do with those. So those kind of don't count. They were £1.50 down to 38p. So that's going into my my stores for my business. And I've been putting together all my jars and all my bits and pieces and prepping them ready for me to start working on them, and it's just taken over. It's just like I can't do any other work in my studio right now. It just takes up so much room because I'm trying to. It takes so long to prep stuff like you're like masking, you're doing the painting and you're doing some gluing, and then you've got to wait a day for it all to dry. It just takes forever. Oh dear, I bought cake. These were £2 down to 80p. I couldn't resist. It was the only one that was there. And I just thought, you know what, sod it. I'm just going to have some cake. And the last thing I got was eggs. Ignore the packaging. They're fine inside. This is 12 large free range. Were £3.15 down to 79p. So that's what I bought for £9. It doesn't look like a lot for £9 because I'd never normally spend that amount of money. But I will do the usual and put what I would have spent, what I've saved by buying it on discounts, and then we'll work out whether or not I had a good shop or I made any mistakes. I don't feel like I bought anything that was wrong or didn't work. It's all kind of fits within my plan, so it should be okay. So that's that, and then I'm going to get all that sorted out, get that on the spreadsheets, get things in the freezer where they need to be, and then I'm going to get on with doing all my businessy bits and pieces. Still Sunday. Oh my goodness, the weather is absolutely tipping it down, and it's been so cold. I had to put my big sushi onesie hoodie thing back on last night. It was just really cold. It was like 14 or 15 degrees. So Sunday is definitely a making stuff day. I'm covering coasters. I have a couple of sets like this that I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing some desk stroke bathroom tidies, and I have some lovely new patterns. So that's shells, and there's another one which I can't show you yet because it's wet. What else am I doing? All sorts of stuff. So little candle jars in that pattern as well. And I'm just crashing it out because I need to get some of this stuff online and hopefully make some money. What else is going on today? That's it for today, just to keep me busy. Next week, I've got quite a busier than usual week next week. So tomorrow, Monday, I have my usual 2-hour clean. On Tuesday, I have a temporary clean. I've got a standing clean, so I've got 2 hours to do on Tuesday. Then I've got my usual 2 hours on Wednesday. And then on Friday, I'm starting my new job. So 4 days out of 5 when I'll be cleaning, but they're only in 2-hour chunks, so it's fine, and they'll all be like done by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I've got plenty of time to be getting on with all of this. I'm waiting for the weather to change. I've got a hike and a car camping trip all lined up ready to go, and I'm just waiting for the weather to change. I'm not going in any of this because it'll just ruin it and it's too cold. So I was planning to do my car camping trip in 2 weeks' time, but I'm not sure the weather's going to be good enough, so we just have to wait and hope for the best. Got to have patience. I'm hoping this weather's going to improve. I've heard that the summer's going to be lovely, but it's balancing it all out with all the other things I need to do. So I've got house sitting coming up at some point, and I want to make sure that I'm spacing everything out properly. So that's it really. Yeah, feeling productive today. It's good to be able to get on with all this stuff, and I've got stuff to photograph and do listings for and all that sort of thing, so that's good. And finding out where I'm going to put it all, I need to make some more space, I think, because it got absolutely crazy. Anyway, so I'm going to get on with all this, and that's my weekend sorted. Good to feel productive. So thank you for watching as usual. Thank you to those of you that are buying stuff off my website, and to those that you leave comments and all the other stuff. And yeah, get ready for the next one. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.